Elderberries, elderberries.
right now.
Elderberries is white, I think.
So,
This
so yeah,
one,
look at that
this
one.
is
Look at that one.
orange.
It's just covered in it.
Yeah, look at that beautiful
Yeah.
orange.
Yeah, I think it's dead nettle.
Mine the other day were coming in, the entire bee was neon orange.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
head to toe.
that's, yeah, dead nettle.
We're past, I think
red
we're
dead
past that now.
Down,
Depends on the elevation.
Up here,
Yeah.
we're
Up
about
here,
2 weeks behind down
Yeah,
here.
Yeah,
I don't
we
know
have
what mine were. I was
ton of it.
thinking
So anyway,
maybe dandelion.
So we've got pollen coming in. I don't see a lot of defensiveness. If something got into the hive at night and had bugged it, the next day they're going to be agitated. And they'll come out and they'll fly at you and be nasty. That can tell you maybe something's going on with this hive. You know, there may be a raccoon or a skunk or something visiting it. Skunks usually leave a calling card. They'll munch up mouthfuls of bees and get the sweet juice out of them and then dump them in the ground. And you may see scratch marks. The best way to deal with skunks is to elevate your boxes enough so the skunk's going to stand on its hind legs, and that way its belly gets exposed, and they lay into them a little bit. And but even at that, they can be real persistent. So, but anyway, I don't see a lot of aggressiveness. We haven't got into the hive yet, but they're still pretty calm for as cool as it is. So.
You'll be all right till this one.
Yeah, reasonable amount of traffic for a day like today. Okay.
okay, notice how he's popping that lid. He's breaking the propolis seal.
You hear that sound?
Gotta go around.
Okay.
Sometimes
I don't know what's in there. I don't know if there's an inner cover or what. And so I'm opening it away and I slide it back like that and I look.
Kind of died.
And so I see
He's really slow.
I see a couple earwigs, little earwigs up here.
I hate them too.
Yeah.
I don't think they really hurt anything.
No, they don't. They don't. There's a lot of
Ants and
creatures that live around beehives that are detritus feeders. That means they eat
Yeah.
dead and dying material, and that's a good thing.
Right on.
Yeah.
Our world would be a really
Warm her up like
rank
this.
place if we didn't have detritus feeders. So,
That'll warm
Yep.
up and then
but anyway, there's a little bit of wax that's been built up here.
Is there any value to keeping that for anything?
I usually have a bucket with a one of those storage buckets with a yellow screw-on lid, and I throw all my wax in there, and we render it at the end of the year.
Here's my wax.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's on the ground behind you.
So yeah, there was a little tiny.
There it is.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But anyway, so I don't see any bees in here.
Cold, so I want her to go
I'm looking
back
at the
inside.
if there were bees in here, they'd be up by this opening. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything.
again, breaking that propolis seal there.
And I try to break it with as little bit of noise and disturbance as possible. Okay, every time you thump a hive or bump a hive, you tell the bees something.
What the hell?
And there's nothing in there.
Is that where they swarm from, Robert?
I think he said that one.
So once again,
Well, where
frame
did my bees
spacing. If this is a super, then you want to space them out. Use all the space so they can draw out deep comb. If it's a brood nest, you want to park everything together.
You have an excluder between.
Yes.
That looks
Yeah.
like a super.
So I would say this is a super.
So he did good.
So the way that I would space this out would be making sure these are all equidistant apart. That way you get the maximum draw out on the.
Oh.
Have you found anything to put in there, like a nail or something that would give you the proper spacing?
Well, you can buy a spacing
yeah, they
tool.
have spacers you can
You
buy.
got a little spacing tool. You can actually buy frame rests.
We
that-
bought spacing tools
that-
and they didn't fit our frame.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, and you can't send most of this crap
Yeah.
back.
Well, what I do is I just
That's
make
why
my
Kevin
own.
Priester is
I
my
just
guy.
I'll lay a piece of wood down here, and I'll get them all spaced right, and then I'll just mark, and then you can build it with nails if you want, because that's all you're doing is you're providing a little gap here in between each one of these. But it maximizes your comb draw out, makes them really nice when you extract.
It's always nice if you can just guide down the frame.
Oh yeah.
Cutting the caps off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How did it get inside? I don't know.
On this one,
They'll find a way.
Okay.
It's okay.
So anyway, I don't see anything down there.
Sorry,
There's
that's good.
not a lot of bees working
this
this.
is from last
How did
year.
it get inside?
And I'm looking through the bottom. Yep, there's some bees on the
oh,
bottom.
look in between the frame. Look
Yeah.
at that. See
And
how
so
I
I can
never think to tip it on its
take a
side.
look at the bottom here, and they are in it, but they're not really doing a whole lot on it. Okay, so these are house bees that are going to be storing. So,
We got a lot of bees.
Yeah.
so once again, you can set them
Start
up on.
getting nectar, they will get up there.
set it on edge like this.
And you would do that with foundationless too?
Yep.
Okay.
See, they're safe when they're on edge on the axis.
not on
If you
an
lay them
angle.
on side, they'll, especially if the weather's hot. So, and that gives you a chance to look inside of them.
Excluder out.
I wait until closer to August, September. Maybe even October.
So these guys
just to
had
make
patty
sure.
on them. It looks like.
They've eaten most of it.
Yeah,
And I have a new patty.
and they've been working it.
Yeah.
And,
It's not moldy, right?
no.
Okay, good. I was tempted to make him stop putting it in there because every time we'd go in there, they were moldy.
Well, that's because they're not utilizing it.
Yeah,
If they're not utilizing it, take it out.
Or give them half as much.
Yeah, cut down. It's like I always start with a little. I always give them more.
Yeah,
You know, if I put a half a patty in and it's gone at the end of the week, then I go, okay, they could have taken a full patty. Yeah, then give them some more. And then and the other side of that too is watching the entrance. If they're bringing in pollen, as that really gets active, they're going to deal with this less and less unless they're just absolutely nutso brood building. So, but anyway,
And is there any value to this that's just been chewed up and not?
if it's soft, you can put it back in there and
Yeah,
they'll
soft.
take it in. So, but anyway, this excluder.
It's always fun to get.
But
It is,
How
yeah.
often
And
do
the
you guys
bees
go
go
through
flying.
your
I was
hive?
gonna
End of
say.
it, it's like, doing.
Hey, Robert, how often do
So,
you guys
see-
go through your hives typically?
See how
Once a week.
gently he's doing this? He's trying not
I do every
to
I don't want to disturb them.
Once a
You
week.
know, I got enough going on with it being cool. I don't want any more aggravation than is absolutely necessary.
And because it's cool, more bees are home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Steve,
yeah.
like Robert said, we get into them once a week. Is that actually enough for us to be
Is
getting?
there a reason for getting into them once a week? Is it just curiosity on your part?
We're just checking on us,
Yep.
you know.
Checking, brood,
Okay.
honey, nectar, everything.
The thing you wanted to keep in mind is the life cycle of the honeybee. How fast does brood get turned around? Okay. See with it? Just rile them. Okay. Okay. They're just all there. Yeah, it's a lot of work for a bee to push through these things. I use queen excluders, but not very often. I usually, I will segregate the bees. I'll create a wall of honey. There'll usually be a super that has a lot of honey in it, and I'll put it down right on top of the brood nest. And then I'll add supers above it, and then the queen doesn't travel up into those. She doesn't want to get into that honey. There's nowhere to lay, so they won't be preparing any cells. Occasionally, a frame will get emptied out, and they'll come diving in there, you know, and lay it up with eggs. But
Oh, I was just wondering.
they serve a purpose. Okay.
So the queen excluder is designed to, if you have honey on top, to
It keeps the queen.
to separate the honey.
It keeps the queen from laying in the frames that are above
Laying
it.
eggs in your honey.
The workers can pass through this, but the queen's thorax is too large, and she cannot pass through that.
That way
Okay.
you have no eggs or brood in your honey.
Yep.
Oh.
Huh? Right there. Same place.
Oh, just on its.
But anyway, so I'm going to. Where's our smoker?
Right here.
See,
So
Robert,
once again,
one handful.
so I'm
of
looking in
mine.
here, and I'm looking. I don't
Still
see
going,
these. I got some faces looking at me here. You know, I got somebody rose up. But anyway, this is full. This is full of bees. There is bees in every seam here. Okay. So just gently smoke around the edges. And you can tell when you're getting them because they're turning away. But this has got a lot of, there was spacing in between these frames, and these are fat. So if this was a brood chamber, this is going to be difficult to work because they have drawn this out and filled it, and we don't have any room to move comb. Okay. I want to actually smoke in the center here a little bit more. I think a lot of this is just honey. And I'm looking down inside of here, and I'm looking for cap brood. I'm not seeing any cap brood. I'm seeing just honey, wall to wall. You can see from the sides here. You can look into it. Just gentle smoking. Just drive them down a bit. And I haven't even cracked this box yet, and I'm pretty confident about what we're going to find. We might find some brood in the center down low, but this looks like this is all honey out here.
But you may not even need a queen excluder.
Yeah, yeah. If you've got a wall of honey,
Honey is a queen excluder in itself.
yeah, like I was saying, a wall of honey, Queen was not going to pass. She's not going to pass through it. There's no reason for her to be in it.
That girl bee
So,
join you.
yes.
Getting them.
Yeah.
Oliver is pretty explicit about using the
This
queen
thinks you're a
excluders.
flower.
Well, that works for Randy.
Yeah.
That's fine. If he wants to use queen excluders in his operation and it helps him be efficient, most commercial beekeepers are, because they don't have time to fuss with stuff and the number of colonies he's got to go through. See this? This is why you want to scrunch them together, because this side right over here, this is sticking out that far. It's taking up all the real estate. This one over here is a little bit better, but there's bees on this side. So what I've got to do is I've got to create space to even look in this. I've got to push in this direction.
That's why I put the super on, because it was full. There, baby. Oh look, she's got pure
And that's what I worry about, just smashing all the
Yeah,
bees up
and
against
see,
the wall.
that's why you don't want to drag a frame out.
And then how
We're
do
just going to have to pry this one over and up and out
you keep
and get
that
one out.
in
The
there?
one on the outside is a lot better to deal with because it's probably just storage.
Okay.
on her.
And it's very unlikely that the queen will be over here.
Let me see if I can get her off.
Even though
Approximately how big?
we're still going to take this out very slowly and gently.
Look at the pollen on
Oh,
her.
helps him thermoregulate while he works.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the-
hang on just a second.
Also
There's
produce
another one.
Yeah. What's he getting?
a towel.
Oh.
These
Ever
are like
since the
final
class and you
everywhere.
somebody did the autopsy on the dead hive and they
Uh-huh.
said, oh yeah, the
These are
queen
like
got
final
rolled.
everywhere.
Probably that's what happened. And I was like,
See this right down here in the bottom? See the rolling that takes place?
Yeah.
That bee
Yeah.
just got rolled.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If that
like,
had
look at
been-
these
Yeah, yeah.
little larvae.
But see this, what you're seeing in here is
These
all,
are grown.
this is all bee bread. See all this dark cap down a little ways? That's all pollen that's been stored. There's some drones here. This is a good chance to check for mites.
Sure hope so.
Big
Okay.
boy.
Wow, that's a huge larva.
It's a drone. But you pull them out and lay them down there. Is there anything crawling around on them that's small? No.
Oh.
So those were on the opposite cell or frame?
No.
No, these are drones
They
that are being drawn out. But I'm not seeing it so far, nothing in there, okay? But if you want to know if you've got Varroa
Yeah, I see.
and you've got stuff like this,
Drone, Dad.
So you don't want all the drones in your.
well, you can sacrifice a few drones to do an assessment. Believe me, they're not all going to survive.
I see a drone.
Here's a capped one right here.
Boy, this doesn't. Thank you.
And that's where a mite would be
Yeah,
because it's been
under a
capped.
capped one. Yeah. These other ones may not have been capped.
Steve, here's
Oh,
a,
good. You got a
the
probe.
tool.
Yeah.
Grab one out.
That's soldering.
I like tweezers better, but
Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't have
see,
tweezers, I just-
yeah, no, nothing on it. So okay,
You
Which
do
is
that,
good.
You do that in like August.
I do it.
You don't have to go through too many usually, and you can find some.
Yeah, but it's a good. I usually will, when I open up a colony, if I can't, I will open up 10 drone cells. Just do it. Drones are expendable. Whether they're a really good indicator of whether or not your mite management is effective. So we have our frame rest.
Towel.
How's this, Steve?
Oh, you can do it. That'll work. That's a good idea.
Since it's a cold day or if it's
Yeah,
a summer day where there's
Where's the frame tool? The frame rest. The white one.
frame rest.
It's back there.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just set it right here.
Dad,
That's
who likes me?
Yeah, that's a nice boy.
There we go.
Is that a nice boy?
Yeah. He's taking a bath.
All right. Where he starts pooping.
I don't know.
So anyway,
Here, Steve, I tell you what, why don't we hand this around? People can feel it.
It's heavy.
There's no queen on it,
yeah,
right?
it's heavy though.
Yeah,
So
that's
just
what
be aware that this is not like the frame that we had
Do
before.
not drop
Okay,
it or
got
you
it.
will pay.
Look at that bee bread.
Dad gave me a
Yeah.
boy
This bee bread
drone.
is
You want
from
him?
last
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
It's
You can have
What are you gonna name him?
pollen.
I can
That
only
is
think of.
Stephen.
I can't think of
This
real
color.
names.
So they
I
take
can
pollen,
only think
they
of
ferment it with
crazy
some
names.
fungus and some
So
bacteria,
I don't know
and
what
then they
to
put a
name
little
it.
layer of honey over the top
Annie
in order
flew
to
away.
keep it
Annie
from
flew away. He probably is
growing mold. And they
interested
put
in getting
pollen.
fed.
Pollen. for the future.
How are you guys treating?
Now, how do you
for mites?
transfer from holding it with your finger?
Might away quick strips.
How did you do
Just to
that?
rest.
And
Oh, here we go.
They put the honey on the outside, then they'll put pollen, and then they will have the brood in the middle.
Now there's brood in
And there's a
here.
little bit of brood. And these are drones. See how they're
So
sticking way out.
the top was deceptive because when we were looking down on it, we were
So now
seeing
this
the honey
has
edge like that.
foundation. So I can
Underneath it
go this
was
side,
brood.
this side.
So that's, yeah, this is a heavy frame.
queen cell on the
Oh, is that a
bottom of the
queen
frame.
cell?
Yep.
There's
Oh, there's several.
So there's,
Falling off.
There's a couple. There's one on this side too.
and you can find
yeah, there's one that got opened up.
Is that good or bad?
It means
Well, it
they
just
might be
is.
trying to swarm.
It is. There's, when you make an observation in a hive, don't label it.
Okay.
Because once you do that, then you start limiting your options.
Okay, so it's not good or bad, it just
It is. What is the status of the hive? So Greg's pointing to you see that queen cell?
Yeah,
Okay, there's one that's open over here. They got the top of it torn off.
yeah.
Okay, so you can see what's in it. It tells you kind of the stage of that.
Do you hear that beep? Because your fingers over here.
It's probably about 5 days away,
Over here. Now,
maybe 6, 5 or 6 days away from. Yeah, but that one was sealed and it got tore open. About 5-6 days away from emerging.
they'll be
You can
having-
tell when they're like a day from emerging,
Yeah.
the bees will start chewing the end off. I
They'll
think
get-
it's because the queen's in there calling.
Yeah, she's calling. They'll peel the wax away down to the cocoon layer.
Did you destroy these,
No.
or are they
No,
just
no,
not capped all the way?
Hold out your finger. Hold out your finger. That right there is a queen cell because it has something in it. That one, it's not capped.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was wondering
Yeah.
if she came out or they hadn't capped
And then
No.
on
When
this
she comes out,
side,
it'll be a perfectly
over
round
here,
comb
that's
and
just
a lot of
That's all
comb.
drone
Will
comb.
hinge
John
towards
Crumb.
it.
Okay.
So should I checkerboard this, Steve?
What?
Should this
So it's just the ones that are like skinny, like morels.
Should have been.
marking them with your
It
marking
was.
pin so that when you get
when I
Did-
reversed?
When you checkerboarded it, did you put an empty super on top?
Yes.
This queen cell right
Where is
here,
it?
right there.
When did you do it?
Did that get ripped open when he
Beginning
put
of
the
the year.
out of the hive?
We had the
Right,
top.
right, but you gotta go beyond that. You gotta check and see how much growth is there.
So Steve, you think that
You
this
see
just
when you
got ripped
checker,
open?
yeah, just a
When we
second.
opened
When
it?
you checkerboarded, did you put that excluder on?
Yes.
You're gonna practice.
Don't exclude.
Practice with the drone.
That's what you didn't want to do. No excluders in checkerboarding. Because what you do is you're limiting the bees' access. Okay, they've got because what the checkerboarding does is it provides a place for the bees to do one of two things: either
grab.
store nectar or rear brood.
That's right.
And when you put an excluder in, they can't rear brood in it. That's the whole idea. What you're doing is you're breaking up the honey store above the
That's
brood
okay. That's
nest.
just a practice you're gonna do.
The
at home.
same amount of honey's there.
So
They're
now-
just distributing it over a bigger volume. And what they do when they see that broken up volume of honey, they go, we don't have enough honey. They deal immediately with the amount in front of them.
With
And
your
you
thumb.
reduce it
Thumb
50% and put half of it up in the box
nice.
above. So they look above and they go, oh, we got half as much honey as we need to swarm. And so what they'll do is they'll go up into those empty frames and lay
Put a palm in
eggs.
there too. Hold it with
And
your
then they
palm.
won't backfill the brood nest with nectar and try to swarm.
Right.
But if you put a queen excluder in and you put the super above it, what
If
they'll
you need to, you
do
can kind of put
is
an
that'll
edge
limit to
down
where they
here
can
like
go
I
and where they can
did
see.
because I needed to.
So-
this poor guy.
So this one, what you do is if you had two boxes, okay, and then and you wanted a checkerboard, you'd add a third box, you'd add another box above this, intersperse it with empty
Now you're
frames,
not holding it
half honey,
very
half empty frames,
strongly.
an
So now
alternating
I'm gonna
pattern.
go in here
And then you put an empty super on top of that.
Move my fingers around
Okay.
a little bit.
And then what you do is
Okay, I
like
got it.
as the maples start to come in, or
And then I might
slightly
put
prior
it
to that,
like
when you
a
start seeing a lot of
corner
pollen
here,
activity,
so
get in
it's
and
gonna bounce it,
take a
kinda
look
get a
at those
bee off
empty
of it,
frames and
here,
see what they're
if I want to
doing.
readjust
If
how
they're
I'm gonna
filling
do
them with nectar, okay, not a good thing. If they're filling them with brood, you're winning because they've shifted gears. Because what they want, what they do when they swarm is they quit rearing brood,
Right.
backfill the brood nest with liquid fuel.
So now the bees
and
are
that's
up
what
here.
they do.
So I
So
will use
We
a
missed
tin
the,
smoker
um,
and
the
smoke this
class
corner.
when you were there, or I mean the
Yeah.
meeting when you were there, because I had back.
Oh yeah,
Make it,
but this is good because we're talking about what you tried to
So I'm gonna
do.
smoke this
I
corner.
mean, the colony is packed.
There you go.
It's packed.
Wow. Those are all huddling up.
So, you open this and you see wall-to-wall bees in between every single frame and on the outside
Okay,
edges.
so you did kill one bee over here.
It's
That's
packed.
why they're building this worm cell.
Yeah.
And you notice how
Yeah,
those bugs did
there's-
protect you.
There's nowhere
Look
to
at
lay.
all
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that wall-to-wall.
Damn.
Look at it this way.
And
So we need to
nectar.
split
And this one does
No,
not.
Well,
we
okay,
take
no,
the sweet
well,
green.
no.
But
Oh,
you might
no.
like
We're going to
to
talk about
because it's so
management
heavy,
options
you
here
may
shortly.
not
Wow,
have the
that's-
finger and wrist power
Wall-to-wall
to flip
brood.
it, so you might like to do that. Just rotating, just put it up,
Up like this.
yeah, yes.
See, this was
that
an
side,
empty
and then kind
frame.
of-
Not anymore, my friend. It is full.
So here.
Look at that one bee with the orange
Got it.
body right there. It's getting like mega dusting.
Yeah.
No, there's no eight.
So anyway,
Brood
you got,
galore.
yeah, this, I can just tell you this box is full of brood.
Sorry.
The only place we had any honey was on the outside edge of that one.
There may or may not be.
Down now.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't found,
Not that cap swarm cell.
we haven't found an emerged one yet. If you've got an emerged one,
But thank you.
it's gone.
Do you want to
Leave, even
Okay,
with
so now
those
we got
caps.
bees all over here. If you want,
So
they
that's
can
what
smoke
Greg
them
is
and kind of
saying.
smoke them away from this corner.
Here's
We
the
need to put up another box.
Well, we'll see how
Oh,
many,
yeah, we got to talk.
we'll see how many queen cells we got in here. Get out of there, ladies.
Some on this side.
Okay.
Queen cells.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all laid up and it's got open larva, open
There you
brood.
go.
Can you see the brood in
Your
here?
thumb.
Do you
Thumb
see
there?
eggs?
Okay.
I'm looking.
Oh, wow.
So
you got
you're
eggs, she's
seeing
probably
a
still
lot of capped honey and also bee bread.
So is it normal that they put the drone in the middle of the bee bread?
Let's see me pick one.
They're gonna put the what they're gonna do is they put the brood
There she is.
here. They put pollen around it and they put honey
If you
honey
grab
at
them,
the
you gotta
top.
make sure you get both wings.
Now
so
this
they
brood
will
right
sting
here on
you.
this frame is just really
Yeah, I'm
small.
not seeing any
Later
eggs
they'll chew out this,
on this
this
frame.
bee bread because they don't need it and they'll
need to go back to
expand
the
their
before he-
their brood nest. And it'll
And that's a good thing, right? You didn't want
Oh,
eggs.
no, if
No?
eggs mean
Or
the queen's on there.
Oh, so
Still.
we've got
Oh.
queen, oh, we got
yeah, yeah.
cells. Oh, beautiful.
Dad, can I see the
Yeah, that's
Queen-
the
we don't see the
second
queen yet.
frame of queen
you
cell.
want another drone, Jared?
Yeah.
Will I keep you busy for 30 seconds?
So they're ready to
Oh,
Does
swarm.
anyone else still want this?
Do you know one?
Yeah,
I don't. Do you want
I
to?
think you could
I think
put it
they've
on.
already held.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Do you
so
have another one?
yeah. So I got this side.
Dad, do you another one?
Get
for
under
my
the-
friend?
If I see anyone, I'll see if I
Put
can
your
grab
thumb
them.
on there. Oh, over here. Make sure your thumb's on.
Where's
Grab
Fred?
better. Grab onto
Oh,
this.
that one didn't want to
Get
be
down
filmed.
lower. Okay, so now put your thumb up here.
So
Got it?
Oh, my sweet friend.
There you go. That's.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, I'm not
You
seeing,
can turn it like
I'm
that.
not seeing it. Yeah, there's an egg.
Maybe right down.
I'm seeing an egg. Okay,
then
so
kinda
there's,
twist
she was in
your
here within the
wrist
last
around
3
and look at the
days.
other side.
Okay, so you got an executive decision to make here. Okay, you can attempt to stop this hive from swarming. There's a number of different ways that you can do it.
They usually have the drones around the bottom.
Usually the most effective is what's called an artificial swarm, where you find the queen, you remove from her presence all the brood,
No, they might have. They might have
and some nurse
other
bees
brood
in
here, you know, regular
another
brood, worker
box,
brood, and then they'll have
okay?
drones that are around the bottom.
and let her start again.
Oh yeah.
And then
It
you
just depends
open
where it
this
is.
up,
This is on the outside.
get
they
rid
have
of
most
most
of
of
the-
these cells if
the
you don't have
frames
the
here
intention
where
of
they
using them
probably
for
have their
anything
other
else, okay?
Yeah.
And give them space,
Right.
because they need space right
Go
now.
ahead and
They'll,
put it back.
they'll
and I
take
think-
eggs.
So adding
We'll have
another
to ask
box.
Steve.
Well, you got to open up the
Yeah,
brood nest.
so-
Another
Hold
box
on
doesn't
to
open up the brood nest. The brood nest is crowded right now.
Right.
So getting rid of the queen excluder, you can actually take some of those frames and insert them into this nest. The problem is that there's not a lot of room for these bees down in this brood nest right now. So they're getting rid of the queen excluder and letting them go. How far away are blackberries up here? No.
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
What do you think?
Oh, they're starting to pop open now.
Yeah. So you're getting
Yeah.
yeah.
Here, Steve, let me have a
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many varieties of blackberry.
Yeah.
Steve, she's giving you back the frame.
You got that one?
Where should I put it?
Right here. But anyway, notice there's honey on that side and pollen on that side. pollen is closer to the brood nest. That frame is one that was on the outside edge here.
That's making a bridge, but there's also a drone, a capped drone there.
Yeah, so you got imminent
There's
swarming.
a capped drone there.
So this
Possibly
Yeah,
with the
that
queen
bubble.
still here.
That's a drone.
Yeah, those
So
are
the queens are bigger.
yes.
Oh.
because of the fact there are 4 capped queens here.
They're
Wall
ready
to wall
swarm.
brood.
She's a good layer.
Yeah.
Well, he's been talking about
Well, the second year queens are really
That's what I've
good.
been noticing is
I
last year
don't-
queens are going
guess
like
I just-
crazy
Look.
because they want to swarm.
Another sweet, another two
Oh my
cells.
goodness,
See the
yeah.
2 queen cells?
There and there.
Yeah.
She'll just lay your guts out.
So Steve, do you want to
Yeah.
make some splits out of this?
Do I want to make splits?
Do you guys want to make splits
That's
out
the
of this?
beekeepers.
Oh gosh, you know, I'm
I'm out of boxes.
You're out of
I
boxes?
have
Would
a
you
I have a
sell me
nuke with me. I'm in
would
need
you
of
do
bees
that?
actually. I set up a hive.
You do have a box. You have the one that goes on top.
But I don't have a bottom
You don't have a
board
bottom
or-
board or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Green cells, look at those
Yeah,
guys.
we
So you've
have
got-
a
I'll tell
little,
you what, can
we
I
have a
one of your
container.
queen cells?
Yeah.
Okay, whenever.
So how do
I'll
you
get it later.
take the queen cell?
You want a queen cell?
Take the frame or
Now
you
this one
take-
right here is
Yeah.
looks pretty good because it has standing on.
Oh, that looks like a
That's a
beauty.
prime one. I'm going to set this
Yeah.
back down.
Okay, I'll just remember which one it is.
Well, here I'll.
So if you had equipment, how would you split this one?
It depends on what I want to do. My minimum split is 2 frames. I got to have a frame of food here. Here we'll set that one right here. That one's the next one in line. A frame of food and a frame of brood. Okay.
So you can just use a nuke box.
Yeah, you can. You can just
Do you
use a
have a
nuke
nuke
box.
box?
Oh, you know, I do.
Go get a nuke box.
I do.
Go get your new box.
You got a nuke box?
I do,
Get a
yeah.
nuke box.
Go
In
get
fact,
it.
I'm
It's
in
the
dire
car.
need of bees. I just
So-
set up a
so we're-
hive and I
so
have
we're
no
gonna-
Gonna
bees
go
yet.
get it.
Going to accomplish a couple things here. We're going to utilize these cells and the bees on them, and we're going to open up the brood nest. And if we can, find the queen still. And you know, you could sequester the queen. You could put her into a box without any brood in it, just empty frames and honey and pollen. And that way it'll appear as if she has left and gone to another location, to her
But
and the
then she
bees.
needs to have some bees with her, right?
You do. You give you'll
A frame of
you give them
brood, a
you
frame
give a
of
couple
food.
frames of nurse bees to
Yeah.
her. You shake those in there, but you don't give them any brood. Okay, don't
No
give her any
brood.
brood because when a colony swarms, it doesn't take brood with it, and so you create that process.
Oh, because that brood is not hers.
Well, it
It's
is
not the new queen.
right.
You're
Well,
taking
yeah,
the
but
old
an
queen out. It's her,
an
her
old
brood, but she would leave it
yeah,
to
it's-
swarm.
bee colonies are weird because the parents leave home and the kids get the house.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I got it.
Okay,
Wait,
so,
no,
so let's see what we can do here.
but they're-
Okay,
so
They raise
So,
the new queen
his.
to stay, and the old queen leaves with the bees.
okay, so we gotta.
So
gotta
you
start to see what
wanna,
you
You
got
have to
it.
find
Yeah,
the
that's
queen.
just
right,
And then
a few
and
things that are
you
brought.
take the old queen, you give her food, but no brood, and you give her nurse bees,
yeah.
and then she starts over. Because that's what would happen when she swarms. They look for a new house, they have no brood, they start from scratch. So you want her to think that already happened,
Yeah.
because if she thinks that hasn't happened, she's still like, okay, we're prepping to swarm, I'm gonna
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to swarm.
Oh, I
So
see.
you have to convince her that she already
All right,
swarmed.
so
She shouldn't swarm anymore.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Oh, look how much pollen that one has.
do you have any more seekers for honey collection?
Yes.
Okay, good, because that's what we're gonna open the brood nest up with the frames out of this one that we pulled off the top, okay? Which is a deep, yes, okay?
Yep.
And then we're gonna